Hi, creative people. How are you? I hope you all are good. Well, I'm here with another video. On today's video, I'm going to talk about very important topics. Okay, so as a job seeker, there is one very important. Okay, beside everything. Okay, like project work, any portfolio or anything. So there is one important thing, that is interview. So in the whole world, interview is very essential and crucial. But on today's video, I'm going to talk about the myth or fact related with interviews. Okay, it might sound a controversy, but it is purely on based on my personal experience, and while interviewing and while as an interviewer also, or as an interviewee also. Okay, so I have a both experience. So and based on that I'm talking about. Okay, so well, let's talk from the perspective as an interviewee. Okay, so there are many examples, but let me give you 2-3 examples. So first example is back from my home country. Okay, while I was in Nepal, okay, and I applied for one company that was a digital agency. I applied for that. I think I applied for 2 times. Initially, like it was, I didn't remember exactly, but I applied and I leave it. Obviously, as a job seeker, sometimes what you do is you applied with multiple organization, and I don't know, maybe you do your research, but yeah, I do some basic research about the companies and what are they looking, or what is my position. And if I found, okay, this job title is for me and the description is matching with my experience, then I immediately apply. And if someone is like asking for the interview or some other further information, only then I do my research. Okay, otherwise I think it's a waste of time to research about some other companies. I don't like it, okay, to be honest. Okay, and so likewise I applied with many organizations, and so after again I think 3 months I applied. Okay, and there was an interview and I got selected, and I started working, and I was a lead. Okay, I'm on that team, even though it was like a small size. I think there we have maximum 15 peoples, and I was the lead. Okay, I'm acting as a, what do you call it, my core job was as a UX UI designer, but I have to lead the team. Okay, and so yeah, basically what happened is, actually there was a very simple interview. Okay, the interview was not very complex and anything. I just selected, but later I found, previously also I applied on the same company. At that time, the HR shared me, we didn't notice your CV. So this is the reality in the world. Okay, that's why what you have to do is you need to apply it multiple times, even in one company also. Sometimes they don't care about any CVs. Okay, they don't notice your CV. Once HR noticed your CV, then if you have a potential, obviously you will get selected. So, and next part, there is one huge myth. I don't know, maybe it's only on my experience or what. So while you are interview, and there are some organizations, they will follow multiple steps. Okay, they will show that they are the most organized, structured organization, and they ask like a very tough question. Even maybe, I don't know, you have encountered like they are looking for entry level of UX UI designer or any other front-end developer or programmer or any other position, but they are asking more than a 3-4 years of experience with a multiple feature. Let's focus on as our what do you called job like a UX UI designer. Okay, they are asking for if you are able to coding. Okay, they need a coding person. Like if you are able to code in a React, it's good. If you know the JS, then it's good. Okay, you need to be a video editor, you need to be a motion designer, you need to be a graphic designer. At the same time, you need to be a good logo designer. Okay, and at the same time, you need to be a good UX content writer also. They are asking so many things, and they will follow so many steps. Like they are the one who are going to give you a more than like thousands, what do you call it, per year, like per lakh, per millions of salary, or they are acting like they are going to give you a equity of their organization. But eventually, once you start joining and you start working, nothing is there. Yeah, I'm not like blaming some organization. Like must have few of the organizations they are following some specific guideline, and they have some set of rules. Okay, and based on that, they will interview, and they will perform an interview process, and some are really good. But majority of organization that I found in the interview session, they will show the some like that it's out of the box, but in reality there is nothing. Likewise, let me explain here in a UAE also. While I was starting or looking for the job, I faced only two jobs. On second interview, on second companies, I get like selected, and I got a luck. Okay, I started working there. But initially there was a digital agency. Okay, and it was a very in a kind of informal. Okay, I think a CEO or project manager, CEO, yeah, CEO was very cool, chill. Okay, yeah, it's good to have a chill environment, and he was asking some basic questions. Okay, and at the same time there was a project manager, and he was also cool. Okay, there was nothing more technical, even though there is much more about the organization. It's just some natural conversation. It's good, it's fine. Okay, I don't have any issue with that. Okay, even if you take an interview within a 1 hour, and you won't be able to decide whether he is or she is good or not, because once you see his or her experience, like previous work, and then you can decide whether yes, he or she is actually worthy or not. Okay, so yeah, based on your requirement, based on the company's requirement, and based on their like what kind of person that they are looking for, and if they have a parameter, obviously it will be aligned. And I don't think some beginner or entry level of person will apply for the senior position. Obviously they will look for only entry level, because they don't have that much confident level. Okay, I can do that much of level. So obviously as a beginner, they will always search for the beginner level. If you are an intermediate level, obviously you will search for the intermediate level of job. Only the thing is, maybe you look for a little bit high pay. It's good that looking for the high pay is very good, because you are putting your effort and you want a return back. That's good, you have to do it. And that experience, okay, I don't want to give a name of any particular company here. And what happened there was, yes, we have the interview, and I think 15 or 20 minutes, and I got out from, and it's what finished, and the project manager came out on the same times. Okay, there was one other colleague, and they were talking with each other. Okay, it was a different language that I didn't understand. Okay, still I don't understand. It was a different, and neither it was Arabic, neither it was English, neither it was Hindi. It was a different language, and they were talking on their own language. But see, if you are working in an English environment, or if you are working with the international client, then you have a mixture of like a language, like you talk your own language, and at the same time you will use some English term. So what I found when they were talking about, it was just a formality to show some of the I don't know, maybe the stakeholder or some person. It was just a mock-up, a kind of mock-up, because they already fixed someone from their own reference. They just wanted to show, okay, we there was a few people who came to interview, and we interviewed him, and yes, he or she was not good, that's why we didn't hire them. To show that it's a formality only, they conducted interview, and it was like I don't know what to say. So this is the reality of world. Okay, even like in everywhere, whether it is a very huge organization or whether it is a very small organization, where no matter what, no matter where, it is always work as a reference. If you have a good network and if you have a good reference, then it will be easy to get the job. If not, then it's very very hard. And the interview process, most of the majority of the time, it's just a fake, it's just a formality. They want to be very serious. They are not going to judge you, or they are not going to find you anything about. Why? Let me tell you, most of the organization doesn't have a good HR manager. They will have some HR, but they don't have a real HR person who can create, who can like consult with the related department. Let's say, for example, I am a UX UI designer. There is one HR manager. Okay, so on the HR team, there should be someone from the design department who can really judge my work, judge my word. Majority of organizations don't do that. There is one separate department. They never consult with that as a design department. What happens? Okay, so we won't hire for example, if design team say, okay, we need a one UX UI designer, then what HR will do is ask the HR team will ask the design team, okay, well, we need a job description, what are the requirement you have, then give it to us and we will post it. And without proofreading, they will just copy and post. Okay, if you don't believe me, then just search on a LinkedIn only. Just search at least 10 to 15 minutes on a LinkedIn. Try to type the UX UI designer entry level, and you will find there. They are asking 7 years of experience, 3 years of experience, 5 years of experience for the entry level. Who? I don't have any like record. I'm a kind of frustrated. Okay, like it's not most of the time that happens to me, but it happens to the most of the people. Because recently I'm connected with some of the fellow designer, like a very beginner designer, and they are asking what kind of course might be helpful to learn about the UX UI and so many other things. And even if they started like completed the learning online courses, and whether they will get the job or not, what kind of environment is, what kind of questions will be there, obviously. So I wanted to share this experience. So what you have to do is, don't lose your hope. Okay, there is a one organization who always hired you. It's just that times need, like it should be matched to the time. Okay, it's just a timing. Try hard. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, sometimes it will be easy, or it will be less time, but you will get hired if you tried consistently. That's all. Everything else is just a myth. Bye. See you in the next video.